If we're still going. Hi there, and welcome to the Experience Podcast. My name is Dennis, and welcome to this experience. If you're new here, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this channel. Also, leave your comments in the section below. I want to invite you to check out the different master classes that are in the description. I have a class this Thursday called Return to Nature Masterclass, and that link is going to be in the description, as well as there will be a donation link to where you can make donations for creating heaven on earth, where you'll actually be assisting in the manifestation of what you see behind us, literally manifesting heaven on earth. And I'm very honored to be in the presence of two beautiful souls today, Chris and Neal, and I'll just let them introduce themselves. Right.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm super happy to be here today. We have a beautiful topic that I'm super inspired about to discuss, which is breakthroughs and how to shift our perception so that we see through the mirror of illusion to get into what is real, to get into the truth. It's a shift in perception. It's going from consumer to creator, from caterpillar to butterfly, from black hole to a supernova. So how do you do that with a breakthrough? And we're going to talk about it today. So thank you.
Wow, you already are like loading it on. I love it.
My name is Neal. I'm a multi-dimensional spiritual being expressing through a human body. I'm here today in like 80-degree weather here in Costa Rica. We have an ambiance of cicadas and crickets going. I'm very meditative and present and centered right now, and I'm glad to be here. And the offer I have is every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can reach out to me directly or connect in Earthquake and Virtual Village in the events tab and access the Natural Balance Masterclass. And Natural Balance is where we cultivate and nurture balance and cooperation inside of ourselves. And as a result, we see that reflected in our external. So this, you can reach out to me directly via Snapchat. You can reach out to me directly by email. Both these are in the description. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, same channels, Snapchat, email. You can also reach out to Dennis directly. And if you would like to be a guest and have a conversation as a promotion of a book, as a promotion of a business, as a conversation of a gift that you see being shared, this is a platform for you to have your voice be heard, for you to have a conversation, for you to express what's in you. And today, you're here to do just that. And I'd love to hear more about specifically like your upbringing, and then from there, navigating to how you discovered breakthroughs for the first time.
Thank you, Neal. So my name is Chris Kidaldini. I live here in the village with these two amazing people, amazing souls, amazing brothers. My brothers, they're brothers and they're also my brothers. So we live here in a community, and the breakthrough is the foundation piece of this work. How did I get to this? How did I get to be so lucky? It's interesting because I was reflecting on it, and thank you for asking me about that. I was reflecting on it, and I found the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda, who founded Self-Realization Fellowship at a very young age. I was 13 years old when I found Autobiography by Yogi and read the book and was enchanted by it. And even though it wasn't a full commitment at that time to dedicate myself to finding freedom, there was something in the book that called my soul. Because there are several examples in the book of yogis who have transcended this physical plane. And I was fascinated. There's a story of this yogi that can manifest anything he wants in his hand. So he thinks of an orange and an orange shows up. He thinks of a flower and this beautiful scent shows up around him. Yogis that had the capacity to be in two places at the same time, ubiquity. I mean, there are amazing stories. There's the story of a woman who received the wounds of Jesus on her hands and feet every Easter. And Yogananda met all these people and they, on his spiritual journey. And I'm getting goosebumps all over. And I'm 13 years old, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then he talks about transcending this physical matter completely and going into samadhi, which is complete communion with the divine. And then there is the word mahasamadhi, which grossly translates to death, when you release your bodily suit and you go on and you merge with the divine. And all of that, in my imagination, I said, wow, is it available to me? There was a question mark. Is it available to me as well? If I really study this strong enough, if I dedicate myself. And for a period of time I did. And for a period of time I didn't. And then I did it again. And so, but that calling of transcending what we call reality has been a guiding light. So that is the high side. The low side was I had a question of what have I done wrong that has been with me for a very long time. So I see now the perfect dance of these two polarities that kept egging me on.
Specifically, what were the two polarities?
What did I do? And is this transcending this reality possible? So the high side, yeah, it is possible. And the low side, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with this? You see? So yeah, so it's a dance. And so the years passed and I dedicated a lot of years to studying Yogananda's teachings. And it came to a point in which I don't even know exactly what happened, but I kind of walked away from that. And I kept asking myself, is it possible to be in heaven? Is that attainable? When will I attain that? And so I kept going to different churches, different methodologies, looking for the answer to these questions as is possible for me. And yeah, there are several detours along the way, but it's part of the journey, you know, it's your ego dancing. You go out and experiment with reality. And at one point, it's like, this is kind of boring. You know, you get things, you lose things, you get money, you lose money, you get success, you lose success. It's like, is there something better? It's kind of empty. That's what I'm looking for. You get there, and wherever there is, there's this emptiness. At least there was for me. There was for me. So I'm like, okay, I'll continue searching. And then I moved finally from New York City, where I lived for many, many years, to Boston. And I had landed there for a few months, and it was Friendsgiving. I saw an ad on Facebook for Friendsgiving, bring a vegetarian dish. I was like, wow, sounds good to me. I'm going to meet with friends and see what's up. And it was earthquake. And
Wow.
that's exactly how it happened. That's how I stumbled on breakthroughs when the breakthroughs found me. And so I went there, and everything that Jonathan was talking about that evening resonated with me. And I was meeting all these people that were talking this language, like heaven is available right now. And I'm like, oh wow, you got my attention. So say more. And from there, I went, that was on a Thursday evening. And then I went to the spiritual service, which he used to host at his house in Austin. And right after that, there was an Awaken Your Destiny event. I attended that one. And right after that, there was the Spiritual Capitalist, and I attended that one. And I never left, basically. And
What was the time frame from your introduction to like attending these events? Like, what was the time frame between like Friendsgiving and like the spiritual service?
oh, it was just 3 days because it was on a Thursday evening for Friendsgiving, and then it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. It was so I was there 3 days later. You know, and I kept going back to his home, and
And these were all hosted just in a personal home.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, because they had just moved to Austin, I think 6 months prior to me, and so they were beginning their church there, their community there. So I was there pretty much from the beginning, and at that time I was already feeling that I was feeling trapped in the United States, and every move I have made in my life from one city or one country to another was due to exactly that feeling. I'm trapped here. It's time for something new. So I knew it was time to leave the United States, and they started talking about Costa Rica, which was on my bucket list one day. You know, I might get there. It was not on my top 10 countries to live. But hey, I was about to leave. It's like Costa Rica is as good as anywhere else. So let me go. And at least with them, I had the foundation of spiritual basis that I
So from the time that you started going to these meetings, what was the time frame when you first experienced your first breakthrough?
Oh, good question. That was actually just a couple months later because I got there at the end of 2019, and then they were, oh, that's what happened. I did not witness one of mine specifically, but on the spiritual activist mastermind meetings that we had, Jonathan used to do breakthroughs with people that were there. So there was this girl that came in one day. There were two instances. There was the guy that was suicidal, and he came and had a breakthrough and walked out like, I'm okay now. He walked in like, today is my last day here.
Wow.
And walked out. Okay. And then there was this other girl that came. She was going through, I don't remember exactly what it was, but she had had a very, very traumatic childhood. And John did a huge breakthrough with her. And she was like, I don't feel anxious anymore. I can see a pathway forward. It's like, wow, that is amazing. And so I saw other people receiving breakthroughs, and I'm like, this is powerful. This is powerful. And I saw them moving from hell to heaven in one holy instant. And I'm like, wow, I need to know more. And so I started following more and more and more. And then we started doing, we did a Awaken Life Live event in person in Austin, and I went to either one or two of them, I don't remember exactly. And then right after that, COVID. So I started doing the events online, and I participated in pretty much all of them. I was volunteering in the background and doing the chat, managing the chat and all of that. And it was great. It was such an amazing experience. If you guys are curious about AOL Waking Life Live, we have it on demand at the village, earthwakingvillage.com, and you can watch it at your own pace. But it used to be on a weekend, so we started on Saturday at 8 a.m. and ended on Sunday at 8 p.m. And it was like 12 hours, 2 days, and people were just getting set free. And that's what I kept seeing again and again and again. Free from the limitations of what they thought was possible. Yeah. Wow, this is just amazing. This is super cool. I want to learn more. And so I started doing breakthroughs in myself, and I started getting more of that, those moments of complete, oh my gosh, I'm in heaven right now. And of course, our egos tend to be tricky and persistent, so they take us down to hell on a regular basis. But then you have a tool. It's like, oh, okay, I'm seeing myself going to hell now, so I can just use this little tool, this little magic potion, which is not magic, it's not a potion, but I can tell myself the truth.
So it was during when you started doing these online events, that's where I found Earthquake.
Mhm.
And that's where I began having shifts in perception to see like it's possible that to interact differently with people.
Yes.
That when I'm out and about in my life and this person shows up, like I used to react this way, but I can actually like respond in this way.
Mhm.
So I started to have these shifts in perspective, which literally started to alter my interactions with people. So the going from hell to heaven, the going from like having this shift in perception, these are all aspects of a breakthrough.
Mhm.
And another aspect is that it's a tool. It's something you can use to go from one perception to another perception. And I've become aware of this so clearly recently is that, and you spoke to this about how the majority of people literally they have shit and they have trauma and they have, some people call it ancestral, but I to some degree, I believe that's reality, but if it's here now, it's for us to transcend. And and I say that to speak to there's these things, these triggers, these emotions that we experience. And I've just recently become so aware that most people don't have the tools, the any insight of how to navigate this trigger, of how to navigate this emotion. And this breakthrough process is exactly that. It's a way to navigate this trigger. It's a way to, this person said this thing and now I'm judging this person, and my judging the person has no effect on the person, but it does have an actual effect on me inside internally. And this breakthrough process assists in transcending that. So that was an aspect of distinguishing the breakthrough process. And I want to ask you, like, what you would add to that, and how you would speak to what is the breakthrough process.
Well, you spoke really beautifully about it, Neal, when you said there are these triggers. So a person shows up in your reality, and just it's interesting because we judge people just by looking at them. It's like, this person has something going on. I don't know what this is, and it doesn't sit right with me. And from there, which is an assumption, you get to a conclusion about this person that you barely know. You literally just met. And from the conclusion, you go to your judgment. Uh, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is that this person is doing is wrong or bad. And what the breakthrough does is it allows us to recognize that we are the creators of our reality. So when somebody shows up in our lives that triggers something in us, this person is my mirror. It's showing me what I have not healed inside of me. And it's incredible because what I am judging, and I have seen this again and again for myself and many other people, what I'm judging in others is what I judge in myself. I don't accept this in myself. So I project it out. And we do that. And we have all been programmed to follow the rules, don't question, have an answer for questions. And here we do the opposite. We don't live in answers, we live in questions. And answer is, I am unlovable. I am broken beyond repair. I am unworthy. That's an answer. And the only reason it's with you is because you believed it at one point. Because no matter how much anyone can say to you, you are unworthy, you are broken, if you don't believe it, it has no charge for you. It's like, yeah, thank you for sharing your opinion. However, the moment you believe it, then you internalize it. If everybody's saying that I am broken, maybe I am broken. That is the moment in which that trigger starts to condense, solidify within yourself. It's an energetic pattern that gets stuck in your field, in your energetic field. So then you have this lens that I am broken. And there are two things happening here. You are using the Lord's name in vain because I am is the name of the Lord. And you are saying I am broken, and that's an illusion. It's impossible because I am is perfect and complete. But in your illusion, you think that you are broken, and what you believe to be true is true for you, even if it's bullshit.
What did you just say?
What you believe to be true is true for you, even if it's bullshit.
That's really powerful. Like what you believe to be true is true for you, even if it's bullshit.
Yeah. And so with the lens of I am broken, you are going to continue creating in your life being broken because this is your lens and you are a powerful creator. So you will have instances in your life, in examples in your life. Nothing I do works out for me now because you're broken. So it's perfect. You are succeeding at being broken because you are declaring that, which is fascinating. It took me half a minute to get this whole gist, but once you get it, it's like, my goodness. And so the breakthroughs allow you to see that as an illusion and heal that trigger within yourself. There are three different tools that we use here. The one that we use the most is called the resistance pattern release, because what you resist persists. And if it's on the reality, you are focusing on it. So usually there is an aversion, I don't want this to happen, and an attachment, I want this to happen. So when the two of them continue to play in your life, you are stuck. There's no motion, there's no movement. I don't like this, and I want this. So they keep battling one another. So the resistance pattern release releases your aversion, your fear, your terror, your resistance, your hate of whatever it is that you don't want, and releases your attachment, which is your desire for the opposite. So when both of them collapse, all possibilities open up because now you are in neutral. So whether you get what you want or do not get what you want makes no difference because if you are neutral about it, there's no charge. So that's the first tool that we use. The second one is a regression. And when there's a pattern that keeps repeating in one's life, we look at the pattern and we go back to the initial moment in which we told ourselves a lie. And we feel the feelings of feeling broken, feeling unworthy, feeling unlovable. It's a painful process, and yet it releases all the suffering. The suffering is caused by the resistance to pain. So once we accept that moment, we feel it fully, it's done. And now you can create a new reality. So we ask for somebody that we trust 100% to come and tell us the truth about the moment. And the truth is everything is perfect. Love is all there is. Every adversity carries with it the seed of a people or greater opportunity. All things work out for good for those who believe. And they're all one. So once we go back to that, infinite possibilities open up. And I have seen people have amazing shifts in life. And living here in the village, even more so, we see that all the time. We use these tools all the time. And the third tool that we have, which in my perception is the most challenging to implement, is, and I love that. Because we are creators, we are born to create. We create beautiful things and we create ugly things, bad things. So we love what's beautiful and we despise, to say the least, what is bad and ugly. So we don't take responsibility for this. We take all the credit for the beautiful things, but not responsibility for the things that frustrate us and irritate us, that make us angry. And so loving these are things that are ugly and bad is challenging because we don't want to be seen as ugly and we want to look cool, to be good, all this nonsense that was programmed into us. And we are everything. We are the good and the bad and the ugly and all in between. So when we own that, wow, what freedom exists and what people want in life truly is to be free, to be happy, and to be loved. And guess what? They already have all of that, but they think that they don't. And they start chasing things around. Wow, talk about insanity. And that's the human race. We have all been programmed like that. And here we have a saying that goes, there's no good or bad, right or wrong, only what works and what doesn't work, considering what you want to achieve. So if being miserable is what you want, have it, enjoy. But if you want to have peace, love, and happiness, then it's time to start shifting your perceptions.
And it's highly likely if you're watching this content, you're on the peace and the love and the connection train.
Yes.
Like this content is specifically designed to be a bridge for people just like you to have access to Neal, to have access to Dennis, to have access to Chris, to have access to Earth Waking, and this podcast is an access point for you to reach out, to be supported, and supported in what? Well, supported in your communications with other people, supported in your spiritual growth, and just supported in an unconditionally loving way, like is completely opposite of what we've been programmed.
And one thing that I wanted to emphasize too is that when somebody is really sick or having a really difficult health challenge, that is being super victim, because now your body is attacking you. All of life is against you, and even your body. And your body is the full expression of what exists in your subconscious. Your body is your car, it's your servant. It's a highly intelligent machine, but it is your servant. So when you have a lot of dysfunction, a lot of negative thoughts, it will show up in your body as a health issue. And we have a few people here in the village that had very dysfunctional childhoods with a lot of violence, a lot of abuse, all kinds of interesting things. And later, they showed up in life as very serious health conditions. And your body lives in your mind. So once you create a clean mind, once you clear these subconscious beliefs, you no longer have to die for love, because that's basically what it is. A disease, a chronic disease, is a cry out of your soul who's dying for love. Because there are these lenses that I talked about earlier. When you see life through the lenses of, I don't deserve love, I am unloved, you separate yourself from source completely. And then your body reflects that, and it shows up as a disease. And sometimes people say, well, now even my body is betraying me. No, your body is showing you the way. Go into it, go into the feelings, go into the emotions, go into your past. It's not an easy work, not an easy work, but it's so worth it. If you really want health, love, this is the way to do it. And I just want to mention one more thing about the worst case scenario, which saved my life. I had to have surgery a while back, and it's almost a year. Wow. And yeah, right, my God, life goes so fast. And I did the worst case scenario, breakthrough. So what's the worst case scenario? Well, in my case, in the surgery was, I will die on the day. The second was, I will die 3 days later. So I was going to spend all the money, all the energy, all the effort, all of that for nothing. Then the third one was, I will lose part of me. And then the fourth one was, I will have a horrible recovery. So I kept releasing all those fears, all the anxiety, all the anxiety. It was a process. It did not happen overnight.
Can you give an example of like one of the times when you were releasing like a fear?
Yeah.
Like just like one specific example.
Yeah. I had a similar surgery several years ago, and the recovery was a real challenge. Real challenge. Pain, swelling, name it. I had to keep going back to the doctor to fix the recovery. And I was afraid that I would have to go through the same thing. So I kept going back through those memories. What did I feel when I got the sweating? I got the pain. I couldn't sleep. I kept going back to those memories and how I felt hopeless, hopeless, hopeless. There's no way to get rid of it. No way. It's not getting better. It's not getting better. I kept releasing these memories, the trauma, the fears that it would happen again. And after a few weeks, I was ready. And well, I wasn't even ready for the surgery. I said, let me just find out exactly what's going on with my body. So I went first for an ultrasound, had the result. And the other thing was if I had to go to surgery, I would have to go to San Jose, which is almost 4 hours away from here. It's like, I would have to go to a hospital, and in Costa Rica right now, if you go to a hospital, you have to be vaccinated. I did not want to do that. So I kept releasing all of that. So when I finally felt ready to go and have the exam done, quite literally across the street, there was a clinic that could do the surgery for me. I'm like, what? Literally. And the assistant, the secretary from the ultrasound place walked me to the clinic and said, here, we'll set up your appointment. Hey, that's amazing. So I set up the appointment, had an appointment with the doctor the following week. 2 days later, I asked him, he said, you need to have surgery. I said, okay, when can you do it? 2 days later. So in the space of 1 week, I had the exam and the surgery done. And as a result, there was no pain, no swelling, and no bruising. That to me is my fault. Mind is gone. No bruising. I've been cut up. I was up in 45 minutes. 1.5 hours later, I was coming back home. I was going to spend the whole afternoon in the clinic. What? Wow. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. You know, so that's the power of the breakthrough.
And is this the fruit of, and is this the result of having faced your worst case scenario before you had the surgery?
Direct result from facing my worst case scenario. So whatever your fear is, in whichever area of your life at the moment, write it down and do the resistance pattern release, which is the easiest one to do. And it starts by saying, I have the power of a made-up mind and a sovereign heart. Nothing in this universe can stop the power of a made-up mind and a sovereign heart. Basically, in these two sentences, you are addressing your subconscious mind. Then, I release the fear of whatever it is that's happening in your life. In my case, it was of having a bad recovery. And you say that 4 times. I release my fear of this. I release my resistance to having a bad recovery 4 times. I release the hate of having a bad recovery. I release the terror of a bad recovery 4 times. And we use these emotions because these emotions have energy in them. Below fear, there is apathy, and apathy has no energy. So we cannot move the energy if there is no energy to be moved. So these are the emotions that we use for that. And then we release the desire, which is the outcome. And my desire was to be completely free from pain and everything. We release the desire 4 times. And then I accept that I am already perfectly healthy as I am. And I have always been. And now you are programming your subconscious with a new belief. You are telling yourself the truth. Because in truth, your soul, your spirit has always been healthy, and it will always be. Your body may have a couple of issues because it's reflecting your subconscious beliefs that were not healed. But as you heal, your body heals. You are healing your subconscious mind. And you say that 4 times, and there you go. And you can keep doing that. Most likely, it's not going to happen the first time around. Sometimes it does, but those are rare. So just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. You did not learn to walk by falling and staying on the ground. You got up again and you started over. Started. So that's what I have.
And the body healing is one aspect of this. And then another aspect, so the body is, I would call it physicality. Um, well, these breakthrough processes, they literally have a direct effect on physical matter. And one of the main reasons of doing this is, yes, there's an emotional charge inside of us. And if we're afraid of something, that thing is literally gonna manifest in our life. Our greatest fears will come true for us to transcend our fear of that thing. But with these breakthroughs, what we're doing is going to that fear and literally facing that scenario. You could do it as in a simulation. You're simulating the scenario inside of your brain, in your imagination, and literally facing the fear and transcending it. And as a result, this situation doesn't have to manifest in your life. And what manifests instead is a situation of connection, a situation of oneness, and like a loving situation. But that's only possible once the fear of our release, and then the desire to have that loving connection. And I see it to like I really wanted this thing, and I've just been like desiring it, and it didn't happen. It didn't come to fruition, and I just gave up. I was like, well, whatever. I don't even care if this thing happens now. And then the thing happens, and I'm like, well, I don't even want the thing now, but like now the thing's happening. So it's this concept, and I just really wanted to speak to about how the breakthroughs literally affect physicality and affect what shows up in our life.
And Jonathan has some really powerful breakthroughs on those, like when he bought the car that he had prior to the one he's driving now. The lady came, and they came late at night. It was like 6 p.m. or something, 5 p.m. And the transaction wasn't processing. And Jonathan said, I am clean. So you may have a fear that you are being scammed or something. So let's clear up this fear for you. And he did a breakthrough with her. And it's 6 p.m. and they're doing a wire transaction. And immediately after that, the money shows up in her account. So it does affect this.
To the extent that we're in a physical earth-waking village. And I literally don't think this is possible without having perception shifts, or actually seeing it as being a possibility. And these breakthroughs is what has and does create perception shifts.
Yeah. And as I said earlier, the breakthroughs are the foundation of this work. And Neal has already said that. Living here in this village in Costa Rica, where we are right now, is the result, is the fruit of these breakthroughs, because none of this was possible. It was impossible by usual standards. So we have witnessed miracles here, and we continue to do so. So you want to live a miraculous life? Do the breakthroughs.
Yes. And like, so what are some of the fruits of breakthroughs? Well, this conversation is a fruit of breakthroughs. Food sovereignty, literally in this village. Growing our own food to eat is an example of perception shifts. Having water that is sovereign water and directly from the earth is a fruit. Community, living in community with other people, that's a thing. Like living in community is a thing, and it works here, and it's possible, and it's a fruit of these breakthroughs. loving each other. I think we're just contributing to the community. People contributing as a fruit of breakthroughs. I can go on. Like this is profound when we really look at what's happening by changing what's in our subconscious and speaking it into existence. I feel really complete. I don't know if Dennis, if you have any questions or comments that you would like to speak to.
I've just been listening, and I feel complete. Other than I would want to add that this work that Chris has been speaking of is taking 100% responsibility. And prior to earthwaking, I was living in a hell of my own making. And so if you're living in hell, or if anything other than peace, love, and joy is not present, these breakthroughs work. And how do you know? Because I'm here. And I live 90% of the time, I am in peace, love, and joy. And so, yeah, and you'll find the way to connect with Chris, myself, and Neal in the description. So that's all I have.
earthquakingvillage.com. You can message all of us that are there, and they have also more information on the description.
And the website's in the description. So literally check out the description box. There's a lot of opportunities there, and I'm actually inspired to include possibly the resistance pattern release in the description. So I think I'm going to do that. So you have an actual blueprint of going through it, and you can lead yourself through a breakthrough. And so these are opportunities. And now I just want to ask you, Chris, do you feel complete?
I feel complete. Yes, thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you for having me here today, guys. This was super fun, and thank you, viewers, for watching us and for doing the work. This is what it takes. It's not, may not be so easy at first, but it sure is a lot of fun. And we have learned how to put the fun in dysfunction. So come and join us in the village and in our events.
And yeah, and we're here as representatives of a fruit of what it takes. And what it takes is responsibility. And so with that, I love you, I honor you. Thank you for being here and sharing this time, and peace.